The movie starts in a nightclub, where two ladies are chatting near the bar. One of the girls, Annie, approaches a peculiar-looking man and convinces him for a dance. Moments later, while the two are enjoying their time, the man suddenly grabs Annie and kisses her passionately for about 5 minutes. Surprisingly, she experiences an orgasm just from the kiss and quickly excuses herself. When she returns back to the dance floor, the man is nowhere to be seen. A confused Annie then joins her friend and reveals that she's experiencing a weird sensation in her body. She even gulps down a glass of vodka in one go and finds it sweet. The next day, Annie is in a very good mood because of last night's encounter. She heads to her workplace, a kindergarten school, and starts teaching the students with high enthusiasm. All of a sudden, her vision starts getting blurred and she falls unconscious. In the evening, she wakes up in a hospital bed where the nurse mentions that she has become pregnant. This shocks Annie to the core as she has been infertile all her life, as her uterus is damaged. It gets even weirder as she hasn't had any intercourse in the last 4 months. Hearing her worries, the doctor conducts an ultrasound test and confirms that she is actually pregnant. As Annie stares at the screen in bewilderment, it finally dawns on her that the kiss from the previous night is responsible for all this. Maybe it was the orgasm that did it, but if a woman had to orgasm in order to become pregnant, our world would be a lot less populated. Following this, the movie cuts to a few days back, where the same strange man from the nightclub, Ren, is flying a spaceship. Looking at the advanced mechanism inside the spaceship, it is evident that the man is an alien. He has all the details on Annie, and is heading towards Earth to meet her. Here, we get to know that he's going to Earth because his planet is dying, and all the women have become extinct there. Hence, his mission is to impregnate Earth's women, starting with Annie. The strange thing is that on his planet, everyone reproduces using their mouth. Just then, Ren notices a large spaceship on the radar, and an alarm goes off. But before he can react, the large spaceship starts bombarding him with lasers. This goes on for a while, and just as the large spaceship is about to destroy the small one with a missile, lightning strikes the two. Both the spaceships immediately lose control, and they crash to Earth. After a while, Ren comes out of the wreckage and starts heading to his destination. At the same time, we are formally introduced to Annie, who is a divorced woman. She lives alone in her house, but usually gets calls from her ex-husband Jack, a high-ranking police officer who is still in love with her. The reason for their divorce is revealed to be Annie's infertility. That night, she heads to a nightclub and enjoys her time, as shown in the first scene of the movie. However, the night ends strangely for her when she gets kissed by the alien Ren and becomes pregnant. The next day, after Annie returns home from the hospital, she is again approached by Ren. From outside the door, Ren mentions that he wants to talk urgently, but she becomes scared and tells him to go away. However, since Ren is on a mission, he is adamant on talking. Suddenly, Annie starts having contractions and she writhes in pain. Taking this as an opportunity, Ren breaks open the door and enters the house. He tries calming a scared Annie, but as expected, she threatens to call the police. She even picks up an iron rod and starts swinging it, causing the whole room to get trashed. When Ren fails to convince her, he simply takes out one of his high-tech alien devices and uses it on Annie, rendering her unconscious. After this, he kidnaps her from the house. The next morning, he brings her to a secluded spot and finally tells her everything. He introduces himself as Ren and reveals to Annie that the baby she is carrying belongs to him. He further mentions that he is an alien who has traveled all the way from another galaxy to impregnate Earth's women, as his population is on the verge of extinction. Unsurprisingly, Annie doesn't believe a word he is saying, but when Ren makes a small cut on his hand and reveals his white blood, she begins to believe. After this, he mentions that they do not have much time left, as one of his enemies has followed him to Earth, and he will eliminate Annie and their child at any given chance. The enemy is of the same alien race that has decimated his population to near extinction. Saying this, Ren urges Annie to come with him to his spaceship, as it is their only hope of escaping the enemy. This is why I don't go clubbing. Meanwhile, the other alien, who has taken up the alias Williard, is on the hunt for Annie. His mission is to stop her from giving birth to Ren's baby. Shortly after, he reaches her house and starts going through her things. When he notices Annie's pet cat, he picks it up and uses his alien powers to see through its memory. The cat had witnessed Ren forcefully taking away Annie, so Williard also gets the memory. He probably also gets memories of lots of butt licking. He then sets off to find the duo and eliminate them once and for all. After a while, Annie's ex-husband Jack arrives at the house and is terrified to see its state. He immediately assumes that Annie has been kidnapped and orders his men to initiate a search operation in the area. When he reaches the police station, he receives information about the mysterious man who kissed Annie at the nightclub. Just then, Willard arrives at the place and introduces himself as a bounty hunter from Chicago. He claims that he has captured Wren before and knows a great deal about him, so the police should let him join in on the search operation. However, Jack refuses the request and leaves. Elsewhere, as Wren and Annie are traveling through the woods, the latter feels a sudden pain in her stomach and falls to the ground. Seeing this, Wren takes out a strange medication from his bag and feeds it to her. This immediately takes her pain away. Annie is surprised as to why she is experiencing such pain in just her second day of pregnancy, to which Wren replies that his species can give birth to new offspring in just 3 days. After a while, Jack, along with some of his men, reach the same forest where Wren and Annie are hiding. As they're scanning through the area using sniffing dogs, Willard suddenly approaches from behind. Expectedly, Jack becomes angry and threatens to arrest him, but the other cops suggest they let Willard stay, as he is the only one who knows about Wren. Hesitantly, Jack agrees, and the group continues their search. In the meantime, as Wren and Annie camp in the woods, Wren starts explaining about the condition of his planet. He mentions that one day, Willard and his race suddenly invaded his planet and started a genocide, which killed almost 99% of their entire population. They were more powerful, intelligent, and advanced, so they couldn't be stopped. Wren and some others managed to escape the onslaught, but by this time, the female population on the planet had become extinct. I guess the men all left the women behind when they ran away. Hence, Wren took the initiative and traveled to Earth, hoping that a similar species, humans, could help him breed an offspring. Hearing all this, Annie inquires as to why she was chosen, to which Wren replies that she has a damaged uterus, and that is perfect for bearing an alien child. The next morning, while Wren is scavenging the forest for some supplies, Annie makes a run for it. Unfortunately, she comes across Willard, completely oblivious to the fact that he is the killer alien. Willard promises to take her to a safe place, but suddenly, he draws out a gun and points it at her. As he is about to finish her off, one of the police officers spots him and fires at him. Willard is shot in the arm, but despite this, he manages to kill the officer. Meanwhile, a terrified Annie is seen running through the woods when she bumps into Wren. She tells him everything about the incident, and hearing this, Wren deduces that Willard has arrived to kill them. He then requests Annie keep going, as time is running out for them. On the other hand, Willard uses his regeneration powers to heal his gunshot wound, which appears to be leaking a purple liquid. Shortly after, Jack and the other officers approach him and ask what happened. Being the cunning alien that he is, Willard puts the blame on Wren, and mentions that he killed an officer before escaping with Annie. A few hours later, as the police group continues searching for the kidnapper, Willard reveals the true identity of Wren. He mentions that Wren is an alien who has traveled from another planet to save his race from extinction. His main mission is to breed with Annie and take the offspring back to his planet, where they can reproduce further and multiply the population. The information stuns Jack and his group. Elsewhere, Annie and Wren enter a motel to take some rest. At this moment, Annie has become extremely weak, and the baby is almost ready for delivery. Wren calms her down and reveals that he has started liking her. He also mentions that she resembles his late wife, who was brutally killed by Willard and his race. One thing leads to another, and the two end up kissing again, and surprisingly, this reduces Annie's pain. Later, the couple rent a car and continue their journey to the spaceship. However, Jack and his group arrive out of nowhere and start chasing them. Willard, who is also in the car, suddenly takes out a rifle and starts shooting at Annie, much to Jack's horror. Because of this, the police car gets imbalanced and falls into a ditch, allowing Wren and Annie to escape. Following the accident, an enraged Jack gets out of the car and beats up Willard. He then cuffs him to the police car and calls the station unit for backup. After a while, he heads off to search for his ex-wife, along with another officer, leaving Willard alone. On the other hand, Wren and Annie reach the spaceship crash site, but the former is devastated to see that it has been destroyed. Since the spaceship could regenerate itself, he had expected that it would be perfectly operable by now, but because of the Earth's polluted environment, it instead disintegrated. Why didn't Willard's arm disintegrate then? As the two contemplate their next move, a couple of police officers arrive at the scene and shoot Wren in the leg. Annie, who at this point has started liking the alien, tries to make the cops understand that Willard is the actual villain, but they do not listen. Instead, they load the couple in a car and head towards the police station. Sadly, their journey is short-lived, as Willard, who easily escaped custody, stops them midway and starts shooting. Both of the officers are immediately killed, but Wren manages to save Annie. He then cleverly unlocks his handcuffs, picks up a revolver, and shoots Willard several times, momentarily subduing him. Taking this as an opportunity, the two get in the car and escape, while Willard regenerates himself. Later, as Ren is brainstorming ideas on how to get back to his planet, he suddenly remembers that some of the senior members of his race possess telepathic powers. With these powers, they can track their family members on other planets. Hence, he mentions that all they have to do is reach a high mountain, from which he can release signals and summon a spaceship. Annie responds that the highest place in the city is Jackson Hills, a place she used to visit regularly when she was a child. Hearing this, Ren immediately starts driving towards the place. In the next scene, the duo reach the end of the road and decide to continue their journey in a cable car. When they reach midway, Annie's water suddenly breaks and she goes into labor. As she screams in pain, Ren uses his alien-like skills and successfully delivers the baby, which turns out to be a daughter. Excellent. Now every alien of that species can reproduce with her. With this, Annie has given birth to a baby for the first time in her life, despite being infertile. In the meantime, Jack has followed the duo's abandoned car and is searching the area in a helicopter. Willard is also at the same location, and as soon as he sees the helicopter, he starts shooting at it, causing it to retreat. After a while, he reaches the spaceship's landing spot and starts searching for Annie. But to his surprise, he encounters Ren, who is determined to finish him off. The two then engage in an intense fight, but since Willard is stronger, he easily subdues Ren and shoots him several times, seemingly killing him. Then he heads out in search for Annie and finds her hiding behind an electric generator. Willard climbs the generator and is about to kill her, but just then, Ren, who appears to be alive, uses the last of his strength and activates the generator using his device. This causes a massive electric shock, which finally kills Willard. After the enemy is defeated, Annie rushes to Ren, who is taking the last breaths of his life. She hands him over their daughter so that he can see her one last time. At the same time, Jack also arrives and immediately embraces his ex-wife. Although he is in disbelief due to the entire incident, he still decides to help Ren up onto his feet. Just then, the spaceship arrives and lands nearby. Some aliens emerge from it and thank Annie for her valuable contribution, but before they can provide medical attention to Ren, he passes away. The movie ends as the aliens take the infant and Ren back to their planet, while Annie and Jack wish them goodbye from afar. And Annie is traumatized forever.